Great to see all of you on the day 9 of this 30-day journey with Lovingly Yours English. Today we are going to do some funneling work, using a funnel. So from general, we are just going to get into the specifics. We are getting into the details. So join me in today's session, Lovingly Yours English. I'm so glad that all of you joined the session today. We are going to start today with the world of sports. The moment the word sports come to your mind, what are the things that you immediately are able to think of? Cricket, volleyball, basketball, tennis, table tennis, football, baseball, hockey, yes? And most of these sports involve balls in this. Now, ball is a general term. Now, how do we get into the specific? We cannot have the same ball for all the sports. Can we have? No. Cricket, we can imagine cricket being played with football, or football being played with the golf ball or a cricket ball. Every game has its rules. Now, pulling the same thought into vocabulary learning. Now, vocabulary is a big umbrella under which you've got different kinds of words. And yesterday's session we have discussed what did we discuss on? Yes, right. Content words and the function words. Now today, let us go a little deeper into the content words. And what kind of words take the major share, maximum space, whether while we are speaking or whether we are writing? Yes, they are the nouns. If you write a paragraph of 100 words, or if you speak for a minute and just look at whatever you've spoken or written, most of the words, maximum number of words are the nouns. Yes. So let's look into the kinds of nouns. So let's look at the screen and read together. When we do things together, the journey becomes more joyful. This passage is about coronavirus and life. And it goes like this. Coronavirus has made its way into every corner of the world. It has wrought our towns, cities, communities, and as a society, we are still figuring out how to talk about its impact. Suddenly, it has become part of our everyday life. It has fundamentally changed our outlook on health, work, life, humor, society, and much more. The information and vocabulary in English language related to this virus is going to help us make sense of the changes we need to deliberately make in order to continue with our life. The COVID-19 stares at the world as it gets promoted from being an epidemic to a pandemic, and now almost getting into the shoes of an endemic. So that's what's the passage. A small passage written on coronavirus, the way it is standing and staring at us today. Now, what do you think? How many nouns might be there in this passage? Now, look at the same passage on your screen again. Now, I have highlighted a few words in green and yellow. And have no doubt about it, these words are the nouns. And see, almost 50% of the passage is covered by nouns. And thus making it all the more important to know the intricacies of the words that are called as noun. So let's look ahead and funnel into what is a noun and what are its characteristics or features, and how can you identify that a word is a noun. Just a little recollection. What is a noun? We discussed it yesterday. Yes? Noun is the name of a person, place, animal, thing, feeling, or idea. So look at under the nouns it is further branched into different categories, and that's why nouns become the major chunk of English language. Please look at this slide. So nouns are further classified under common nouns, proper nouns, concrete, abstract, collective, compound, countable, uncountable. The list just goes on. Yeah, and further again getting into pronouns. So now let's look at what are common and proper nouns. How do we distinguish common noun and proper noun? From the name itself, you must have got something that is common. is a common noun. And something proper, when you give a name to the common noun, it becomes a proper noun. For example, city is a common noun, but when you give it a name, for example, Delhi or Paris, yes, it becomes a proper noun. Similarly, man or woman for that matter is a common noun. When you give a name, man, Rahul, woman, Lata, like this, you know the difference between common and proper nouns. Now, if you have a sentence and you want to find out which is a proper noun, which is a common noun, just ask. It's a very simple method. Just ask these two questions. What is it and what is its name? So, for the question, what is it? The answer will be the common noun. And what is its name? The answer will be a proper noun. Right? Just look at the slide. Under the common nouns, you have the following items. Please look at the table. Man, woman, city, country, university, company, restaurant, religion, language, day, month. All these things are the general category. Okay. Now let us get into being more specific. How these things become proper nouns. So on the other side of the table, you have the list for the proper nouns. So whatever you read under the common nouns, each one in the same order, you can see how all these become proper nouns. Just look at the list again. So for man, it becomes proper when you give a name. So Rahul. Similarly for woman, Linda. City, Wuhan. Country, Italy. University, University of Oxford. Company, Tata. Restaurant, Domino's. Religion, Sikh. Language, English. Day, Tuesday. Month, May. All these that you've seen on the list are just examples, okay, samples. There can be many under these common nouns, right? So you get an idea of common and proper noun. So proper noun gets a clear name, more specific. Common noun is in general, common. So after the common and proper nouns, now we have the next category, concrete and abstract nouns. Just with me, look at the table again. So concrete nouns are people, place, animals and things. Concrete. From the name itself, you know, concrete structure. Yeah, it is physical, it is present, it is real. You can touch, you can feel that, right? So that is now the words that come under this these characteristics are called concrete nouns. Now let's see what are abstract nouns. Please look at the table again. Now abstract nouns are ideas and feelings. So ideas and feelings, you cannot see it, they are not real in existence, you cannot touch them. Yes, so idea or feeling which we cannot see, and it's not really, we cannot touch them. Yes, so it's not physical. Now these things, these words come under the abstract nouns. For example, health, hygiene, love, anger, emotions, all these are abstract nouns. They are there, but we cannot touch them, or we cannot see them, right? So let's move on to the next category. So out of the 4 categories that are listed under nouns, we are now on the 3rd category, and it comprises of collective nouns and compound nouns. Now collective nouns, as the name itself suggests, collective means collection, grouping, okay? And compound nouns, compound, we know that compound means when 2 things come together, it's called a compound. Let's look at the slide and discuss it further. So collective nouns denote a group. For example, team. Now to understand team, we need to go to the sports field. Now a team of players. Team is a group. You can use this team as a common for to denote a group, as well as even to refer to the individual members. Now there are 11 members in the cricket team. We have an Indian cricket team, right? Now look at the next one. Please look at the slide. Faculty. Now faculty of a department, and faculty comprises of all the faculty under that particular department. Okay. Department, all the departments in a university or colleges or any office, any government office or private office, there are different departments. Yes, and department is on the whole, it comprises of the sub-departments. And then you have members, swarm of bees, then you have pack of wolves, and school of fish, all these denote to a group. You collect all these things under one umbrella, right? Now looking at the other side of the table, we see the list of compound nouns. And what are compound nouns? When two things come together, two different words come together to give a more powerful idea. Okay. Now the first word there you can see social distancing. Now social, this is referring to the society, and distancing means a distance between two people. No, cannot be closely attached. It has to be distanced. So social distancing, that means distance from each other. Distance from each other. Every person stands at a certain distance during this corona time. Right? Look at the next word. Self-isolation. Self and isolation, different words. Self means individual. Isolation meaning keeping yourself completely separate, not mixing in. Now when self and isolation come together, they together have a powerful meaning of self-isolation, right? Similarly, you have other words, ice cream, then bus stop. Now here the other words are swimming pool. Swimming and pool have come together. Now swimming pool has got some space between each word. Social distancing also has a space between the two words. Self-isolation has got a space, but then it is separated by a hyphen. Now look at the other word. Self-confidence, again, self hyphen confidence. Swimming pool doesn't have a hyphen, it just has a space. Okay. So the next category is that of countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are those which you can count. Okay. Now how many fingers do you have? You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. Now the uncountable nouns are those which you cannot count in numbers. Let's look at the list now. Now because we can count the nouns, we can put them into singular and plural. Plural means more than one and singular means just one. So 1 finger, 5 fingers. Okay, so let's look at the list. Virus, viruses. Doctor, doctors. Mask, masks. Patient, patients. Exercise, exercises. Bat, bats. Okay, so this is the way to check whether they are countable or uncountable nouns. Now let's look at the list of uncountable nouns. Now the uncountable nouns cannot be counted, so they always are in singular form. They do not have plural forms. Look at the list. Information, knowledge, food, music, water, money, song. You can count the number of songs, but you cannot count the music. You can count the number of carrots you have eaten, but you cannot count food. Okay? You can count the number of dishes, but not food as in numbers. Okay? So I think you understand countable and uncountable. Now we have got an idea about what is a noun, what are the different categories under noun, the abstract, the proper, the common, the collective, the compound. Yes, 8 categories. Now on the next slide, which you're going to see, I have listed out common rules based on which you can identify whether this word is a noun or noun not, or what kind of a noun is that. The first rule says that you have to identify it under person, place, name, thing, or idea or feeling. Yes. Now let's look at the following rules. The next one is who or what is completing the action. This one, if you remember, the questions to identify whether it is a proper noun or a common noun. Proper or common. The next rule says that it may be capitalized. So if it's a proper noun, it will be, the first letter will be capitalized. For example, the word English, wherein E is capitalized. When you write names, the first letter is capitalized. Okay. So this is the third rule. The next 2 rules are possible rules. Now, mostly whenever there is a noun, it follows an article or another word or phrases. So, article, a and the, a hospital, the doctor, an orange, right? Now, the other few words can be some tables, a lot of money, then number of students, right? Or 8 bananas, 9 houses. The next rule talks about the possibility of the noun following a descriptive word, right? As we've discussed in the earlier sessions about black shirt, white coat, wooden table, descriptive words. The noun follow the descriptive words. So that's again another sign. The next one, it can be pluralized. So mobile, mobiles, fan, fans, house, houses, cycle, cycles. The next rule says that you can make possessives of the nouns like Kavita's video, Rahul's movie, Latha's song with the apostrophe S, Kavita's apostrophe S, Kavita apostrophe S, Latha apostrophe S, Rahul apostrophe S. Okay, so that's making possessives. Now the last rule, which is also a bonus point for all of you, okay, is the best way to increase the richness in vocabulary. You can get one word and you can find out different, changing forms. Now these are the suffixes with which you can change forms of the words and increase your vocabulary multiple times. So let's look at the screen now. The word, if it ends with tion, it is a noun. Now exams are a noun, but another form, examination. Okay, that's also a noun. And similarly, ambition, completion, competition, you see all the ends are tion, right? Let's look at the next ending. ance, attendance, abundance, guidance, appliance. Yes, similarly ence, consequence, sequence, difference, confidence, sentence. Now these are also another way of identifying the words as nouns, right? If they end in with these suffixes. Now next, AR, you have grammar, calendar, nectar, pillar. Then OR, projector, reactor, reflector. Then ISM, tourism, socialism, feminism, neoclassicism. Yes. Now MENT, establishment, contentment, advertisement, investment. Okay, I missed the one with IST. Look at the words ending with ISM, similar words with IST. Tourist, socialist, feminist. Yes. The next ending is with Y. Accuracy, literacy, duty, valley, trolley. And then you have the words ending with AGE, suffixes. All these are suffixes. Suffixes means the extra few letters which get suffixed, added to the root word or main word, and then make another word. So AGE, language, package, message, percentage. So all these suffixes help you in making your vocabulary enriched multiple folds. So you got one word, you can make different words by different suffixes. That's the bonus part of today's session, which is how to increase your vocabulary multiple fold by having these endings to the already existing basic words or the main words, right? So all these rules, if they are not sufficient or are not enough to help you in finding out a word, please open your dictionary or refer to the Google with different dictionaries in its list, right? Now let's look at the passage again, the passage with which we opened the session today. Okay, the passage that you are seeing right now has different colors. Some words are highlighted with green and some are with yellow. The words which are in green are what we have been discussing till now, the nouns. So here comes the task for day 9, and it is keeping the rules in mind or referring to the rules which I mentioned on a slide, the 10 rules. Categorize these words, the words that you see in the passage, under the different categories of nouns, right? And with the bonus point, enrich your vocabulary, whatever vocabulary you collected until now in the first section of your notebook. Try if you can make different words with the possible endings, right? There is another beautiful way of bettering the vocabulary, and and that is by reading. I hope all of you are reading the text that I've mentioned in the description box. Please surround yourself with language. Before I see you in the next video, I would like to leave you with a beautiful quotation by John McWhorter, and it goes like this. Loving your language means a command of its vocabulary beyond the level of the everyday. Okay, so we need to come beyond the levels of the everyday language, right? So until our next meeting, stay home, stay safe, and be calm. Thank you.